Hey, what's going on, everybody? Daniel Betancourt here. Usually I'm here with Todd on Mondays, but this week, no Todd. He is off closing deals at the moment. We had a scheduling conflict, but we have to make that money to keep the wheels turning. So we are still recapping on the amazing Track Plus training program. It's a 12-week program, and this is week 12. That means is everyone who's gotten to the end of the program is graduating soon. They can stick with it, which is awesome. What it also means is anyone that's interested in joining us for the next 12-week program, it's time to get signed up. It's time to order your book, and it's time to get registered with us. So if you are interested in doing this amazing program with us, it's a 12-week coaching session. It really helps you build your real estate business, go from being an independent agent to actually running a real estate business. We'd love to have you. You can message me or Todd, and we will give you the instructions on getting signed up. It's a group session. So we started out with about 20 agents on this session. So if you'd like to do the next 12-week session with us, we meet virtually a couple times a week, and it's amazing. We do it together and get all the way through the amazing content of this Track Plus program. So today I'm going to be recapping week 10, 11, and 12. So week 10, what we went over, it was called Become the Person You Want to Attract. In week 10, we shared a system of how to create your own story, how to share it authentically, and by doing that, build stronger relationships with those you want to get business from, but those you want to build strong relationships with over time in your sphere. Not only can they bring you business, but they can also be part of the transactions that you're working on. So what I meant by that was not only are they, transactional relationships, you can help each other and benefit each other out over the years. You can send them business if they're business owners. They can send you business for many years. So it's really important to be able to share your story, be authentic, and that's going to attract and help you leverage that for more business from those relationships that you build from your sphere of influence. That was all week 10. It was a deep dive into that. And we have a YouTube video that goes into the deep dive on that. Week 11 was titled Be a Student of the Market. So, what that's all about is knowing your numbers. You're going to hear the phrase know your numbers a lot throughout the 12-week session, because knowing your numbers is really important on a variety of different levels. But knowing your numbers in this scenario is talking about the statistics of your real estate market, of your geographical farm. So the folks in your geographical farm that you'd like to attract business from, you should be the local economist to those folks. So when they ask you questions about the real estate, the area in which you're farming, you should have all of those answers on the tip of your tongue. You should always be a student, see what trends are happening, days on the market, the number of listings that are active, more or less, number of listings that are pending, and the rate at which those are closing. So that's going to help you out a lot. You're going to be able to see if the trends in pricing are going up or down, and it's just going to help you out on your listing appointments. It's also going to help you speak more intelligently about your geographic farm. So you definitely want to remain a student. You do this by knowing your local market, be the economist to your sphere, know how to leverage this information for more business and conversions, and just always be a student, always be learning. Week 12, which is what we've gone over most recently. Hey, Donna. Hey, Lewis. We've got some Facebook comments. How are you all doing? Long time, Donna. Lewis, newest member on Team Betancourt. Congratulations and welcome. So week 12, we're going over consistency and conversion. So consistency and conversion, we are going to learn how to track the lead indicators and lag indicators. So examples of lead indicators are how many calls are you making per day? How many of those turn into conversations? Because a call is not a conversation. Two-way communication is a conversation. How many of those conversations turn into appointments? How many of those appointments turn into closings? So how those statistics relate to each other, that's called your conversion rate. So by knowing your conversion rate on these various tasks that are real estate related, you're going to be able to improve those conversion rates, learn skills, and practice scripts, objection handling, and all of that, just to make sure that you are constantly, by tracking these numbers, you will be able to improve those numbers and improve those conversion rates. In this training program, they cited The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, the book, and he talks about, on listing appointments, your goal should be to convert at least 80% of those listing appointments. So if you're not converting 80% of those listing appointments, there are things that you can be improving on in that listing appointment. So those are skills that you want to work on. Same thing with buyers. On the buyer side, for every 10 buyer consultations, you should get at least 70% of those buyer representation agreements signed. And of those, you should be closing at least 80% of those folks. So by knowing these numbers and by tracking your numbers and having a system to track your numbers, you'll be constantly working on improving those conversion rates. So number one, something that you want to keep in mind, make sure that you're doing, is ask for business. Ask for it, directly. A lot of people, you tiptoe around it and you never build up the courage to actually ask for the business. That's something that you want to work on and something that you want to express confidently. When you're speaking with these opportunities, number two, when you're speaking with these opportunities, are you asking them general questions, or are you asking them specific and focused questions? So the example they gave is, if you're speaking to someone in your sphere and you say, do you know anyone who's interested in buying or selling a home? That's a very general question. The lead might respond with, I don't have anyone that's coming to mind right now. A more focused question that you might ask is, do you know anyone who has recently gotten married or has recently had a baby? So, those life occurrences can really, a lot of times those folks are looking for some real estate moves. So, the general question, you'll just have a lot more success rate if you ask more focused questions and fewer general questions. So that's something else to pay attention if you're doing that in your conversations. Number three is asking confidently and not timidly. Sometimes the person on the other line, they can sense your timidity and your confidence. So when you speak, you should speak confidently. And the way you can improve your confidence when you're speaking is by practicing your scripts, practicing objection handlers. The more conversations that you have, the more confident you'll be. So if you're having very few conversations and you're practicing very little on these scripts and you're practicing conversations very little, when you actually have those real conversations, you might come off as being timid, unless you come from another industry where you've done this a lot. So, and that's okay. With experience comes confidence, but you can fast track your experience by practicing. And Donna, I see your comment. Mike says hello. Hello, Mike. I hope he's alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic this morning. So yes, contacts are two-way communication. So love the engagement this morning. So you want to practice your objection handling. You want to also monitor the quality of the conversations that you're having. Are these, something that when I'm working with a new lead, and something that I talk to the agents on my team about is to extend the conversation. I know Mike Stott always used to say, and Donna, ask one more question. So asking one more question is a great way. Sometimes that one more question will open up all kinds of opportunity. And something that I train my team members on is just keeping the lead on the phone a little bit longer. Ask more questions, listen more, pay attention to their needs. And if you can keep them on the phone a little bit longer, a lot of times in my experience, it builds rapport, it builds more trust, and it's just going to improve your opportunity, your chances of success with that lead. Also, you have to have a follow-up process. If you have no follow-up process, you're going to have a much lower conversion rate. So there's a saying, fortune is in the follow-up. So you have to have a follow-up system for these leads. Sometimes you can have an amazing conversation. This has happened lots of times in my 17 years of real estate. You have a first conversation, it goes amazingly, and you might think this customer is with me 100%, but maybe the follow-up wasn't there, and the next person they spoke to also had an amazing conversation, but their follow-up was better, and guess who they closed with? The person with the better follow-up. Maybe that person has amazing conversations with every person that they speak with. So you want to have a system for following up, and don't just assume that people are locked in because you had a great first conversation or first two conversations. Another thing to pay attention to is the average time that these leads are in your pipeline. So when we're talking real estate, a lot of times we look at average days on the market, but something that you don't hear about very often is average days in your pipeline. So you want to work on ways to improve that average days in your pipeline. If someone's motivation is a year or two out, you want to work on language and work on communication that shortens that time frame. One, because it's beneficial for people to be homeowners. So the longer someone waits, the more things that can go wrong, the more likely it is that they won't be a homeowner. Our goal is to help a person on the buy side become a homeowner usually. And it's not just for the fact of closing a transaction. We want to improve that life. We want to bring value to that person by helping them become a homeowner if they're a first-time home buyer. Just helping them achieve their goal. If they have a goal and we're the ones who are helping them achieve that goal, we're going to be a memorable person in their life. And it's something that we should just monitor how we can get them to those goals more quickly. So it's, by having a good follow-up system, you'll be able to do that. And by learning and practicing language, especially with people who are more experienced at this than you, you're going to improve your own skills. So this was week 12. And, this is just a short recap. There are videos involved in this training system. There are tracking processes. We are going over, we have accountability together. So we'd really love to have some people join us for the next 12-week session. And we've been taking some signups throughout this 12-week session for the next 12-week session. But if you're interested, now is the time to get in touch with us. So just wanted to share all of that with you. Sorry Todd couldn't be here this week. We miss him dearly. Hopefully, God willing, next Monday, he'll be here with us, but he'll also have his show going on Friday. Hope everyone has an awesome rest of the week. Thank you for everyone who commented on the Facebook feed. I appreciate that, and we look for your engagement next week also. And until next time, hope you all have a great week. Take care.